Oh boy, where to begin? A couple of months ago, for some reason, this one movie popped up in my YouTube feed. A Spider-Man movie, but one I didn't know, and it seemed that there was some buzz around it.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
But as I learned more about it, I found out that this was a fan movie, and it got attention for all the wrong reasons. For one, the main character turned out to be a racist, whose DMs were leaked. The director immediately condemned the actor's behavior, when suddenly, Mr. President, a second racist, has hit Spider-Man Lotus. The director's racist DMs were leaked as well. But that's not all. Another actor's racist DMs were also leaked.
Oh, baby, a triple!
But wait! There's more!
Also, the guy who plays the Green Goblin is a groomer or something awful like that. Those guys, especially the director, also seem to be pretty scummy to the actors. At least they were insulting them pretty harshly in their DMs. When they started out with the fan film, they posted a trailer and got a lot of attention. They were even mentioned by John Watts and Andrew Garfield positively. Guess what, they were also insulted in the DMs that leaked. With all the attention in the beginning of the project, they started the Indiegogo campaign for the effects team and got like 100k. Once the controversy started, the effects team left the project. Eventually these knuckleheads did release Spider-Man Lotus to YouTube though. And I watched it looking past the controversy and trying to see if there's anything good about this movie. Well, before I start, I want to say that I have seen some fan movies before. Most of them suck, but there are good ones. There were some I'm not even sure if they still count as fan films, as they have name actors in it and are more like proof of concept videos for other projects. But they were still called fan films, so I let them count. For example, the Dirty Laundry short with Thomas Jane, or the fantastic Uncharted short with Nathan Fillion. I still can't understand why they didn't take him for the movies. But there have also been a couple of Spider-Man fan movies, the most popular ones being the Dan Poole movies, in which he did a lot of stunt work. Dangerous stunt work. Really, really dangerous stunt work.
Hang on real tight and push off.
There's no way that we could have faked that shot.
But one thing have most fan films in common. They are short. Spider-Man Lotus is about 2 hours long though. Was this necessary? Well, I will answer this question in this video. I will also spoil everything, so be aware. It starts with an action sequence. Someone is driving in high speed through the streets. The police is right behind him. In an alley, the criminals get out of the car and Spider-Man appears. And a beatdown starts. Eventually the leader of the criminals is donning a special suit. He's the shocker and attacks, but Spider-Man of course defeats him. And this scene is pretty okay for a fan film, I would say. The action is okay even though it is cheap. Spider-Man makes some quips, even though they are not really funny, but at least they tried, I guess. And the bad guys are defeated in the end. I guess it's okay enough. Then we see Peter meeting his friends. They are annoyed by him, as he is always late. But they are happy to see him. Well, kind of. Peter is thinking of proposing to Gwen Stacy, but then the title screen starts and we learn that the Green Goblin has been killed by Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy is also dead. But actually it's not that much a title screen but more a sum up of what happened off screen. But then we cut to a scene with Peter at the cemetery. He talks with Mary Jane and just treats her like shit and tells her that she is once not the life of the party. Which is just odd. It's nothing like the established characters in the comics and these people here haven't been introduced yet. Also the most important part of the story just happened off screen. After that scene, the actual title appears. What follows are about 90 minutes of amateur actors being mopey and trying to be sad, while a messy story, which almost completely consists out of flashbacks, is told. We see a pretty long scene of Peter watching videos of his friends when Gwen was still alive. while there's almost nothing established for the time she was alive. This is one of the biggest issues of the movie. We don't really see why Peter loves Gwen. We don't learn how they met or why they are together. They just are. Then she's dead. Same goes for his best friends. We don't really see them being friends or why they bond. There's just this very long video with snippets from them being together and Peter saying over and over again that they are best friends and how much he misses Gwen. But it's just not convincing. These 2 hours runtime could have been used to establish the characters. Instead, everyone is just sad all the time. Harry is becoming a drug addict, Mary Jane is barely in the movie, same goes for Gwen. So the most important people in Peter's life are barely here. I think we don't even see his aunt. Peter thinks of ending his superhero career when Mary Jane tells him a young boy wrote Spider-Man a letter. The boy is terminally ill and a huge Spider-Man fan. Peter visits the boy as Spider-Man and sees all the merch hanging around in the boy's room, which is a bit odd. Spider-Man is a vigilante in that world, and there's seriously merchandise for kids? Was there also merch for Phoenix Jones? And was there merch for Bernard Getz? Well, it doesn't matter anyways, as there's also a game from the 2000s, which he plays with the boy, with the shittiest controller I have ever seen. Also, the game plays itself as it seems. Spider-Man is doing the superhero thing here for 5 years and is supposed to be 20 years old. Not sure what the timeline is supposed to be. Looks like it plays in modern days. They should have cut the scene with the game intro. Then also this movie would have at least been shorter. Then a scene with Mary Jane who talks with Flash, who is telling us just how great Peter is and that he can pack a punch for like 5 minutes happens. At this point I was checking the time and saw that there was still an hour to go. Is this movie's runtime justified?
No! God! No! God, please, no! 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 No!
The constant flashbacks and dream scenes which serve as flashbacks are just mind-numbingly boring. The story feels just fragmented and there are too many pointless plot lines going on. Eventually the boy and the boy's mother, which is probably the best actress in the movie, help Peter stop being such a whiny little pussy and man up. But we still have to see some more flashbacks, including Peter's fight against the Green Goblin in a storage room or something like that, where Peter also fought Uncle Ben's killer, which we see in another flashback. The Green Goblin looks like trash, by the way. He just has a Halloween mask on. Not sure if he was supposed to talk with it or not, just looks odd. The fight itself is also not that good, but it's a fan film, so... We also get another scene with Flash, who is just dumping another big load of exposition, as he explains that he is going to the army. We also have some more scenes with Harry Osborn.
Well, we all know I'm not good at these kinds of things.
And I have to say...
English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Yes.
Eventually Peter decides to be Spider-Man again and walks yet again over the cemetery, talking to Gwen. Also about a boy who is revealed to be dead at this point, and when they cut to the tombstone, I had to actually laugh a lot. It's just the way it was presented, I don't know, don't judge me. There are probably some more plot lines I could talk about, but I will not overstay my welcome, just as this movie does, so let's continue. I just want to add that I was glad that the movie was actually over after 1 hour and 45 minutes. I was really glad. While it is okay in certain scenes, overall this was just terrible. It's just so aggressively boring. The story is too fractured and uninteresting as it's all one note. They try to be gritty and sad, but it's all just surface level. It also doesn't help that the acting isn't that good, but some of these lines, well, no one could make them work. It's also the directing which is bad. The way it is shown, the way it is structured, that they didn't care for Harry to be clearly to understand, there also seems to be some ADR work done with Mary Jane or Gwen at some point. I forgot which one, but you will mostly see the one who isn't talking in that one scene, and Gwen is almost never visible when speaking. There are too many plotlines going on, which are just not important. If this would be cut down to at least an hour into episodes, this would have been better. But it's still not good, even as a fan film. Everyone being sad all the time and constantly having flashbacks is just annoying, and there's very little happening. The characters also don't feel like their comic counterparts. Mary Jane's character is just nothing, Gwen is barely there, Harry is basically not important. The kid is also pretty bad, but that's what you get with child actors most of the time, I guess. A good director would have tried to save these scenes or direct the kid better though. The film also has some interesting ideas, which it is based on. The death of Gwen Stacy and the story of the terminally ill boy who is a fan of Spider-Man. For this one I saw the story already in the animated series back in the day, and it was solid, a sweet story, it was pretty cool and lots of fun. And having Peter explain all his gadgets was cool. Here it just takes too long and sucks like everything else in the movie. The boy is probably also pretty disappointed that Peter is just being sad and annoying and boring in his room. The Gwen Stacy story was also in the second Amazing Spider-Man movie, at least partially, and while the movie itself had its flaws, I remember liking it at least in parts. And the ending with Gwen was pretty well made, if I remember correctly. I will rewatch it though and see if it is actually the case. Overall, this feels like an unofficial direct-to-video sequel to The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm talking about the quality of Creepshow 3 here. While there are moments which could have worked as short film, overall and when everything is put together, I have to say it's pretty bad. The acting isn't good, some of the effects are bad or unfinished, but I don't even mind it that much. The biggest problem is the story and the length though. There is a lot of filler and even the important scenes are boring. The most crucial moment is off screen. It was ambitious to make a complete superhero movie with only $100,000. But there's a reason why they don't make superhero movies for that budget, and here you can see why. I didn't expect much and was still kind of disappointed. Spider-Man Lotus gets a 2 out of 10 because they managed to make a movie with such low budget and it looks quite often like a movie. And not that much like a fan film, even though it is a bad and dull movie. There were surely also people who put their heart into this. For the director, the main actor, the Green Goblin, both of them, well, it seems like they should probably look for another job and be nicer to their fellow human beings.
Better like next time.